What's up guys, how's it going? My name's Jake and welcome back to my Chainsaw Man chapter review series. It's been a long 2-week wait since we got our last chapter, so rather than edging, let's just pick up right where we left off with chapter 113. After such a crazy cliffhanger from the end of the last chapter, Fujimoto has once again blessed us with Asa acting like a boring femcel on her date, the identity reveal of the new horseman of the apocalypse, and the return of the Eternity Devil. But before we get into any of that, class is once again in session. I've linked a poll at the top of the description where you guys can vote on what grade you think this chapter of Chainsaw Man should get, A, B, C, D, or F. And at the beginning of next week's chapter review, we'll go over the overall chapter GPA of this chapter as well as some of your guys' comments down below on this video. Speaking of which, let's just quickly look at your guys' thoughts on chapter 112. So about 300 people voted in my last chapter review poll. If that was one of you guys, thank you so much. The new one's already live on my community page if you wanted to check that out. But after crunching the numbers for chapter 112, we get an average chapter GPA of 3.92. 3.92. I think that actually might be the best one of the series so far, and I can totally see why. That was just a fire chapter. And we also had some good voter turnout this time around too. I'm just looking down now to see if I can see if any of my other chapter review polls got any higher, but I don't think any did. I'm not actually keeping track of the numbers in a booklet somewhere, even though I probably should. But I do think Chainsaw Man chapter 112 might be the highest so far. So because things went so well in that regard, let's just look at some of your guys' comments. Naruteo123 says, fun fact, everyone was always just going after Chainsaw Man's life, only Asa and Makima are/were going after Denji's life. And that's a super interesting observation. I think an argument could be made that Makima was going after Chainsaw Man's life as well. More of as like a simp rather than a murderer. But Naruteo123 still do be spitting with that. And then Universe Imagination says, Reze is the only girl so far I think likes Denji in a fondness sense. I don't think she likes him romantically, not yet anyway, but she was fond of him. Which is apparent because she was about to run away with him only to be stopped by Makima. As for Asa, I can see a potential opposites attract dynamic here with Denji being a dog and Asa being a cat. For Imposter Chainsaw Man, he's either fake or Prochita or something else entirely. And then deep down, I really wish Reze comes back somehow. As long as she's a hybrid like Denji, I'm not losing hope. Sad face. If you've been watching my channel at all, you know that I am a pretty big Reze fan. So I too am in the I hope Reze comes back boat. But seeing this relationship set up for Asa and Denji, I think at this point, realistically, Reze can't be brought back as a romantic interest, but maybe a, some kind of antagonist or something. I'm not actually sure what happens to all those hybrids at the end of part 1. No one really is. The only hole I can think of in this comment, in the logic in this comment, not that I'm even looking for holes in the logic, is did Reze actually want to run away with Denji, or was he just trying to manipulate him? Because I feel like that was also pretty unclear. But I do agree she was the only one out of them all that actually held some kind of fondness for him. Because, why'd she teach him how to swim? She never went to school either. All that stuff. We know that she has at least some kind of fondness for him. So yeah, I'm also part of the Team Reze, please come back. With mangaka like Fujimoto, it's one of those types of series where if you don't see a dead body on the page, it doesn't exist. Schrodinger's dead favorite character. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Remember to leave your thoughts down below on this video, and maybe we'll talk about it in the next Chainsaw Man chapter review video. And while you're down in the description checking out that voting link, or maybe leaving a comment on this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, and I also just make a metric shit ton of Chainsaw Man related content, so if that's your thing, I'm your guy. Alrighty, sounds good? Let's just jump into the chapter. So we start off today's bizarre adventure with Yoru yelling at Asa in her bathroom to hoe out a little more for her date. But Asa reassures Yoru that it's okay, guys immediately will fall for any girl that shows the slightest amount of interest in him. And I want to say she's wrong, but knowing my own experiences, I can't refute that with a good conscience. Plus, Yoru's a devil, what the fuck does she know about boys? Probably a decent amount more than Asa, but we'll get there, don't worry about that, in due time. Then Asa looks into the mirror once more and reassures herself with the confidence of Leroy Jenkins that she's pretty darn cute. Sometimes I look into the mirror and say things like, I think I can afford rent this month. So I understand the feeling of trying to manifest things by screaming them into the void. But in perfect Fujimoto-style comedic timing, Asa goes from reassuring herself that she's the cutest thing since chocolate lab puppies to being a complete wet blanket on her date with Denji. I have a genuine interest in marine biology. Sometimes before bed I'll watch those deep-sea David Attenborough documentaries. But even I found myself yawning through Asa's lectures. And my boy Denji, he was just so precious. Dude just wants to see some penguins. The amount of time he asked to see penguins, how could you deny him? Imagine being so boring on a date that you fumble the most pathetic and desperate guy on the planet. I kind of wish we got to see them, meet up at the train station or something and have an awkward train ride to the aquarium together. Classic slice of life style. But that's not important. What's really important is that Asa has negative Riz to the point that Yoru could have taken over Asa's body for that entire date, and it probably would have gone better. I'm glad it worked out this way though, because rather than Yoru, we actually get to see Asa throw a tantrum this time. She's yelling about how Denji's in the wrong for not listening to her ocean facts, and she spent all day at the library studying for this date, which is kind of sweet and also sad at the same time, because she spent so much effort into making this date seem like a good experience, but it kind of completely fell flat. Actually, I probably shouldn't say it's sweet in any way, shape, or form because she's doing this to try to kill him. But still, it's sad that it fell flat like that. The thing that was even more sad to me, though, was the callback to when Denji tried to leave his life in Makima's hands. Asa saying, "You don't need to worry about a thing," probably triggered some pretty traumatic and depressing memories for him. So that's why I'm a supporter of Denji leaving Asa there and going to see some goddamn penguins. I can't stress enough how badly I just want Denji to find happiness. Everyone either wants to take advantage of him or kill him or both. I swear to God, he better be able to see some penguins after they get out of this debacle that they ended up in at the end of this chapter. Speaking of which, let's just quickly move on to the thing I've completely neglected talking about in this entire chapter review video so far. We finally get a reveal for who this mysterious new horseman of the apocalypse, or Horse Girl, as I affectionately refer to them as, inadvertently leading me to catch a stray L, as the kids say. Yeah, I was totally certain that she was gonna be the Death Devil a few weeks ago, but she ended up being Famine. I know a few of you guys commented on some of my other videos saying, war after conquest, famine after war, death after famine, whatever. It makes sense with the order that they're supposed to appear in. But can you really blame me for assuming that she was the Death Devil when she brought Yuko back to life and made her a huge monster? I didn't think that was something you could do when your power is to make people hungry. So she just outright admits that she's the Famine Devil and she's the War Devil's older sister. Most interesting to me, though, was the tone of voice she speaks in the Japanese version of the chapter rather than the English version. I always kind of had the conception that she was kind of the cool and composed, kind of looks down on people, very intimidating and scary. I thought she was that type. But she speaks incredibly close and friendly with Asa in the Japanese version of the chapter, telling her to refer to her as Kika-chan and calling her Asa-chan, using the word chan a lot, saying that she is the War Devil's One-chan. She says call me Fami in English, but Kika-chan in the Japanese version. Kika is the Japanese word for famine, Fami is just a localization liberty taken by Viz. So Kika-chan tells Asa that, I know you wouldn't turn Denji into a weapon anyway because you're just too nice. But don't worry, I'm gonna help you. Everyone does crazy shit when they're hungry. So I'm pretty sure Kika-chan's plan is to starve Denji and Asa into making drastic decisions. I'm not so sure how this is going to work out for Kika-chan though, because Asa was saying that, starfish regenerate limbs, and in some cultures people even eat starfish, so I'm pretty sure Denji's just going to start eating the aquarium animals. It's technically indefinite food, right? Surely Asa wouldn't have said all of that boring shit at the beginning of this chapter if it wasn't going to come back and have some practical use later on, right? I'm getting a little ahead of myself though. Yoru's like, oh shit, don't listen to her, Asa. But before she can finish speaking, by some mysterious horse girl power, both Kika-chan and Yoru are gone. So now it's only Denji and Asa in the aquarium alone. But they aren't in any normal aquarium date circumstances anymore because the aquarium corridor that they're in now seemingly goes on forever. It's like that, aw shit, here we go again meme. Actually, it's exactly like that. Denji literally says, aw shit, here we go again, this douchebag's back from hell. Jesus, oh my god. So the Eternity Devil is back, yay! Actually, funny enough, I went back to read some chapters from part 1 before I started filming this video, and literally 100 chapters ago to the dot, the Hotel Eternity Devil operation started in Chapter 13. So that's a fun little parallel. Chapter 13, the Eternity Devil arc starts in Chainsaw Man Part 1. Chapter 113, the new Eternity Devil arc starts in Chainsaw Man Part 2. That said, I don't think Denji's gonna be able to force the Eternity Devil into wanting to commit suicide again, because that's all too convenient. Especially because I feel like there's some horse girl fuckery going on. It's just not gonna work like that. But technically, this version of the Eternity Devil should be weaker than the last one because it doesn't have any pieces of the Gun Devil's flesh. So if we're still going by the original Chainsaw Man universe rules from part 1, this should be a weaker form of the Eternity Devil. It'll be really funny if Denji does have to break out the chainsaws, though, because Yoru's not there to either see it or believe it. She's gonna be like, no way, that loser couldn't have done that. I already saw Chainsaw Man. He was that big, handsome hunk of a student council president that had the starter in his chest. So I'm excited to see how that goes. My one big power play prediction for the next chapter, though, is that Denji is genuinely gonna start eating aquarium animals. So bookmark this timestamp for 2 weeks from now when the next chapter comes out, because I gotta prove some points to you guys. I'm not just throwing shit at the wall. I actually think that's gonna happen. That's about all for today's chapter review video. Remember, next week we're on break. Fujimoto probably needs a rest. But I'm still gonna be putting out a funny Chainsaw Man personality quiz video, as well as some other little quirky videos here and there. So stick around on my channel for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Wow, 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 wow,